Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
So, just a quick question for the, playing King and Queen. Let's say you had 10 things.
Yeah.
And they gave you 5.
Yes.
But out of the 10, all 5 were different. So out of the 10 that you thought of, none were mentioned.
Yeah.
But those 5 were good, and like, okay, yeah, cool. Do you play the dumb blonde just to get the main 3 or 5?
No, I mean, because all you're doing in King and Queen of the World is what you think.
Uh-huh.
But remember, you get 80 heads in the room.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be smarter than you, no matter how smart you are.
Got it.
So usually I had it down to a science, because by the 3rd, 5th, 10th time, because you did it so many times that nobody would throw one in.
Right.
But then LA threw one in, and when I said, well, tell me about that, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not going to have to do some things in the moment and on the fly.
Right.
But because you've prepped with King and Queen of the World, probably you're not going to have to do much. And if you do, you're only thinking about maybe 1 or 2 things. There will never probably be 5 if you play King and Queen of the World correctly.
Okay.
There may be 1 or 2 at best. And then you put it out there with the group. Hey, what do you think? Yeah, I can't be here on time unless I leave at 2 in the morning. Well, that doesn't make sense. It's not practical.
No.
It's not pragmatic. It's not smart. So then we pivot.
Yeah.
Or somebody, is going through it in 3 weeks and they come back in and say, I can't do number 7.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Okay, well, do we all still agree? Or variations of it. So 80 people in the room, they can all do it, but she just had a child and she's up late and tired. She can't. Well, we give her an out on that one thing. Yes, let's all vote.
Yeah.
So in the end, it doesn't matter. It all works out in the wash.
Okay, got it. So now we're going to move to normed agreements.
Yeah.
What is normed agreements?
It's that. It's saying, how will we conduct ourselves within this setting?
Right.
So you and I have said within this YouTube setting, and, it's going to go to the audio and the podcast, written transcription, blah-de-da-de-da-de, right?
Yeah.
But we've said these were our agreements, right? We're going to go about an hour to 90 minutes. You're going to do an interview style. Not that we won't ever cuss, but we'll try to stay away from cussing. Yeah. We're going to try to be as straightforward and direct as we can.
Yes.
Number one, bottom line is to add value to the audience. I mean, we've said this is what we think, right? We're going to not wear the same colored shirts, right? You may wear your hat like this. I may, whatever the case may be. So there are agreements. Yeah. And then we make adjustments from those, make pivots, right? Which goes back to the individual system. Yeah. We collect data. Oh, this works, this didn't. I don't know if you remember, but we have over 200 videos now. Mm-hmm. Remember the first one, the camera we had was one of those that moved and it would get blurry. So we had to change that. Yeah. Or another one was the audio wasn't as good. Mm-hmm. So we changed that. And so, I hear people say all the time, just start. That's what you should do on YouTube because, we had a little bit of thought to it, but we've had, 703 pivots in just a couple months. And I'm sure it'll get better and better as we get, better and better.
Right. And so for us, I know that we don't have to revisit them as much, but for someone that has to, let's say, go in once a week, maybe even once every other week to do a meeting. Yeah. Would you revisit those normed agreements?
Yes.
Every time?
Great question. Because sometimes we would only go in once a month.
Right.
I mean, we were pretty expensive on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So we would go in and we would go once a month and we would do like 2 or 3 days. I'd always start right there. I would put up the accountability formula and I'd say, hey, anybody not remember this? They'd all laugh because the funny thing was, just as a sidebar, kind of the give and the take. You and I are talking about it as psychological warfare, but I was teaching them how to do so. But I got so good at it, I could still do psychological warfare. There's a couple of things on our coaching piece that we created and stuff, and I would tell them like 4 seconds beforehand, and then still get them. On the psychological warfare, and I said, I just got you. They're like, oh! Right. And they just got it because you get so good at it.
Right.
So the reality is that, yes, you would revisit that. You would start to add in, hey, have you guys played King and Queen of the World? Are you starting to, so we would check in with them. But, yeah, I would always start with those things and say, hey, what's next? Get prepared. Right. Because I wanted to be at my best for those 80 or 100 or 1,000 or one-on-one, whatever.
Right, absolutely. And so then, I assume that this one is also universal. So then my question is, did it happen by accident, or did it happen on purpose for you to link all of these first three so far, starting with the accountability formula, to link into King and Queen, to link into Northern Payments?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was a both and I don't remember the sequence of how we came up with these.
Got it.
But we knew in the end that, in systems, the better you can link things together, the better it's going to be. So if you think about the old game Donkey Kong, there were systematic things that you did to be able to beat that game,
right.
Or there were patterns, right?
In
Pac-Man, right? I used to beat the whole game because you just fall, and you get to all the keys, or I forget what that tip top these keys, and but you get eaten, right? Like, then you go, okay, then you re-pattern and whatever,
right?
And that's my big thing with the people is, hey, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it based off of tradition? Because I love, systems, structures, processes, procedures, customs, habits. I love it.
Yeah.
But not if it's not by your choice. If you're just doing stuff based off of what mom and dad did and it's good, then good.
Right.
But if it's bad or it's not great or it's maybe something where you don't want to be, well, then change it. Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about ownership cycle, which I think is, I think probably one of the most underrated things that people talk about is taking ownership.
Yeah.
I think because it gets lost a lot.
Yeah.
But let's start with, what is the ownership cycle?
So we kind of talked about that before. So I like to kind of string together ownership, thoughtfulness, and intentionality together.
Yeah.
But the actual ownership model or formula, or we've changed it to model, formula, model, cycle, whatever. But it is that. It starts, we go I, and it leads into the O. Okay. So input, right? That means you're already starting to own. Right? If I'm just receiving, and that's all that I'm doing, I don't have to own that. That's your stuff, giving it my way.
Right.
But if I get input, red shirt on Monday or green shirt on Tuesday or whatever,
right,
even if it doesn't always work out my way, I'm able to give input.
Yeah. And
when I'm giving input, what am I doing? I'm involved. So now if I'm giving input and I get involved, then the next little baby step is ownership. Yeah. And when you take ownership, then we go the other direction and we say, now that you've taken this ownership, how are you being thoughtful? And how will you be intentional? So like when we used to say this with my basketball team, I used to say there's three types of kids. There's the kid that goes on the ground for the ball because coach said.
Yeah.
There's the kid that doesn't go on the ground for the ball at all.
Yeah.
And then there's the kid that goes on the ground for the ball because they want the ball. Well, that third person who wants the ball has taken ownership.
Yeah. And
probably they've been thoughtful about it.
Right.
So do I dive head first? Do I just go in with my hands only? Do I just dive in with my body? Do I twist my right?
Right.
And then being super intentional on when those things would happen.
Yeah.
Well, you know the math to that.
Yeah.
If you do that, you win most of the time.
Yeah, 9 times.
Yeah, and if the guy that has the same kind of mindset, ownership, thoughtful, whatever, and you guys both go at it and they're more talented than you, then they win. Yeah, but right, then you kick them in the shin and then you win. right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with the ownership cycle,
it's the formula. No, it's the model. Yeah. No, it's the. Whatever. Yeah.
I want to ask this correctly. Where do you think people falter, or why do you think people have such an issue with taking ownership?
Well, think about it, right? You're putting yourself out there. So I love all sports, you know that. I love the Bible and I love sports. That's about as far as I go. Yeah. I'm simple-minded, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. Yeah, I like football, and yeah, I like basketball, but I used to love to wrestle.
Right.
And I used to love to do track and field. Why? There's no excuses. It's me versus you.
Right.
And I dig that. And at the end, if I've given my best and you've given your best and you beat me, I'm gonna kick you in your shin.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm gonna at least be able to look at myself in the mirror and go, I gave everything and they were just more talented than me. Yeah. So if you think about ownership or thoughtfulness or intentionality, all of that means you're putting yourself on the line. Right? Same thing we talked about in our sales talk.
Yeah.
Why don't people do that? Because you may get your butt kicked.
Right.
You may lose. And so what do people do? They go, I'm not putting it out there. I'm sitting right here. I'm going to play it safe. Well, you go right ahead and play it safe. And we've talked about that. I've had thousands and thousands of people that have come back to me and said, thank you. You changed my life. Mm-hmm. I put it out there.
Yeah.
I've been stabbed in my back, for goodness sakes. Right? But I just kept putting it out there. Whereas a lot of people, they're like, they don't put it out there. And then they go, man, how come you get all of the people? Because I put it out there, idiot. That's why. Right. Put it yourself out there. You're going to take some losses, but you're going to get some wins too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The ownership cycle, module, formula, etc. ... Yeah. Is that universal as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
So out of the first 4, I know they all go hand in glove,
Yeah, shoe and foot and all that on there.
Which one would you have people start with?
I start with the accountability formula. I'm very intentional with the way that we did it. So we've tried a bunch of stuff. I mean, this isn't, we've done this based off of trial and error.
Right.
We've been in front of 10,000 groups of one or hundreds. Even we've trained in front of thousands before. We do the same thing every time. This is our system. But we didn't start that way. We went in there and went, hey, we're going to teach you something today. Yeah. And they're like, oh, boy. But, you figure it out.
Yeah, got it. So now we're going to talk about patterns of change.
Yeah.
So what is patterns of change?
That's funny. Hopefully I'll remember it all because I haven't talked about it in a long time. But act like there's stair steps going up, right? Okay. And so the first 3 are A, K, A. Okay? And so the first A is awareness. And I always liken it to, hi, I'm Brett, I'm alcoholic.
Right.
Or, hi, I'm Coach Little Z, I'm a fat rear end. That's PHAT fat for you viewers out there, right? But it's awareness. It's saying, hi, I'm the alcoholic. Hi, I'm this, I'm high, whatever. Right? I'm this, that, or whatever.
Yeah.
So then, if you think about a step, there's the corner of that step.
Yeah.
So then you have to make a choice or a decision to go up a step. Okay. So, hi, I'm an alcoholic. I'm cool with it. That's it. We're done. Yep. Patterns of change is done for you.
Yeah.
Right. But if you make the choice to go to the next one, which is K, AKA, is knowledge.
Okay.
So now you're going to go seek out knowledge. So let's go back with the fat. PHAT. Jesus. So when you say that, you go, okay, I heard about this Atkins thing. Oh, I heard about this keto thing. Oh, I heard about this intermittent fasting thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of people get stuck. So they, a lot of people go, hi, I'm an alcoholic. They don't care. Most people don't even say, hi, I'm an alcoholic. So they stop right there. Right. But then if they do say that, they're like, well, I'm not going to choose that. But if they choose it, they go out and they seek knowledge, and we call them the knowledge monsters. They just keep on, they know every diet, it's me in that world. And everything else, I go to the next step, which is action. So, once you get all the knowledge, you may go, same thing. Choice or, am I going to go the next step to take action? I'm not doing that. I'm not intermittent fasting. I'm not getting rid of my bang.
Yeah.
I'm not, whatever it is. I'm not drinking 140 ounces of water. Whatever the knowledge that you have, But if you do take that step, it kind of goes back and forth. Usually it's not just, I go AKA and then I stay in action.
Right.
Because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or it needs a little bit more work. So you go back and seek some more knowledge. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're taking the action, eventually you find something that works.
Right.
And so you start taking that action. But like I tell people, in the patterns of change, anybody can get riled up for 30, 60, 90 days. Mm-hmm. The next one is C, which is commitment.
Okay.
Right? So you got to be committed to taking the action on a regular basis over and over and over again. What do we call that? Pattern. It's got to be a pattern, a habit, a ritual, a custom, all the way through. Yep. And so, and then in the last step is an S, which is for sustainability. Like you basically, they say 21 days for a new habit or 10,000 hours to be really good at something or whatever. Yeah. But now it's sustainable. It becomes a lifestyle versus a diet. Yeah. And so, you can plug yourself into the patterns of change at any time on anything.
Yeah.
And if you ask me if it's universal, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're all in that continuum. And if you named, if I asked you to name 10, sections or categories of your life, you'd be able to plug right into them. So I could say, hey, where do you fit spiritual religiously? I'm on the I didn't take it. I'm not on the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you at with mindset? Well, I'm here. Where are you at with your workout? Where are you at with your sports? Where are you at with your girlfriend? Where are you at with your child and father-son relationship? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at?
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
I figured you're going to ask me that, so I just wanted to save you some time.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And so
I time hack.
Well, you skipped the first question though. Before that.
Oh, what was it?
What is the purpose of patterns of change?
You don't correct me. You don't correct the expert.
Okay.
And what was the question?
What is patterns of change for?
It's for that. It's another way to look at the mirror. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes you only need one thing, accountability.
Yeah.
The accountability formula, it's simple.
Right.
Other times you need several mirrors. This is the normed agreements is a mirror. Right. The patterns of change is a mirror. Yeah. It's a mirror for you on where you at within your journey of whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Got it. Yeah.
And you don't correct me again.
Okay.
All right, I'm taking over the interview. Yes. Why'd you wear the Bass Pro Shops hat?
It's my only black hat.
it matches.
Yeah.
Hey, your mom's getting through to you. See? Patterns of change.
So what are the W's? The what, why?
Yeah, it's funny though, but I love it. This is another frame, almost like the discount double check. You can kind of do a checklist when you're just initially brainstorming or thinking about something or whatever. So the Y's or the W's are why, right? Yeah. And then it goes who, what, when, where, and how spelled backwards, which is a W. Yeah. Right? And so we came up with that, and so that's something you could quickly run through, either formally or informally, and it's really a cool little piece because I say to myself a few times a day that why am I doing that? Why did I go to the dentist today? Well, I gotta keep my insurance up. I gotta go twice a year, right? I probably need to keep my teeth okay, although whatever, right? Whatever, why, right? And I come back with okay, and I just go through every one of the W's at the end, and I go, I guess I better go to the freaking dentist. Yeah.
Might as well do it.
Might as well. By the way, can we talk about your dentist experience? Because I heard you were whining pretty good.
I had no cavities. That's all that matters. So that's all I have to say.
And you're off my health insurance when you're 26. Yeah.
Good thing I'm 21.
Oh boy.
So
it's getting hot in here, man. Can we turn on the fan? Yeah. All these lies.
Do you run through all these on a normal basis, would you say, starting with the accountability formula? And it's just so second nature to you?
Yep. Yep.
Now, for someone that hasn't run through those ever, or let's say at a very limited, or they've done it
sporadically, or
no, what's the word? Informally, sorry.
Yeah.
So they've done it informally, but now they're gonna have names to it, formally do it.
Yeah.
How long would you think it would take someone to get used to doing these?
So come back to that because I think you make a good point. That's one of the things where we can really help people. Mm-hmm. So we give these things names and titles and different things of that nature. Yeah. But you're right. A lot of people will do these things informally, but because there's not a name to it, patterns of change, accountability formula, it's sporadic, it's informal, it doesn't always happen. So it's weak. Yeah. Right? Whereas when you put names to it and you commit to it, you take ownership, of the ownership cycle. You do all this stuff. And now, it's like having that workout buddy, but you're just doing it with yourself. Things really, happen. Yeah. So I'm glad you kind of brought that up because I think that's something that the audience we could have missed to say. But I forgot your question.
Yeah. Just how long do you think? Because for you, it's second nature. For someone that hasn't done it or very limited, how long?
So the studies say 21 days of consistently doing something to create a new habit.
Yeah.
So that's not in the realm of time. That's nothing. Yeah.
Not even a full month.
Yeah. And so, think about it. If you start doing the things we're talking about and you just do one for 21 days, accountability formula. Yeah. And then you do the next one, King and Queen of the World. right? And that you hook them together, and then you do another 20. In a year's time, you're gonna be freaked out how far along you are in your life, let alone in whatever else specifically you're trying to do.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
And I go, hey, do you want that toy? He said, no. And I said, go give it to that kid. And he goes, I said, yes, you are. Because I knew that everybody was going to have to know how to be rejected.
Right.
And it was okay. It's a mindset. It's like whatever.